This marriage advice is good for newlyweds and empty nesters. Have you ever heard of the Disney effect? This is the glamorizing and magnifying of fairy tales that have caused us to have unrealistic expectations on how romantic relationships are made. Real relationships don't involve knights in shining armor, castles, soulmates, living happily ever after. But the Disney tales now engraved in our consciousness make us feel that it's real. Stay tuned and I'll share how this particular behavior shows up in marriage. For the best marriage advice and for it to reach others, give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell to be notified when we post a new video. We're so appreciative of you sharing the video with your friends and family. Ladies, are you struggling to communicate clearly with your husband? Well, I have the best workshop for you. It's called Communicate Clearly Workshop. And if you are interested, there's a link in the description below. Give me a call. It's a free call and I will share all the details with you. I'll be sure to share how the Disney effect shows up in our marriage. But first, before we address that, wives, we can show up with unmet needs and expectations and fail to see our partner for who they are. We have a tendency to try to change them and who we want them to be. This certainly didn't happen when we were dating. Was it a hidden expectation? Be honest with yourself. A second issue that can hurt our marriage is talking to others outside of our marriage. And yes, that can include calling your mother. Now, it's okay to talk to a therapist or a marriage mentor, somebody where you can have a confidential, safe, and really basically somebody that's outside of your network of family and friends. What destroys a relationship is what happens on the inside, not from what happens on the outside. Gossip is a betrayal of trust and a violation of confidence. Don't do it. And finally, the impact of the Disney effect. Now, I'm going to generalize, but wives, we have a tendency to not ask for what we want or what we need.
What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
Somewhere along the line, we thought our husband could be mind readers, and we just expect them to know. And like you, who doesn't love the romantic notion of your husband just knowing what to do? And there's also the other camp where I've told him 1,000 times. How many more times do I have to tell him? And that can be so frustrating because I tell him and then he still doesn't. So why should I keep telling him?
Come on, ballet!
Well, just like we would want them to keep telling us and not give up on us, we need to show that grace. We need to get rid of this Disney effect of, well, he should just know. I mean, look at the movies.
We're gonna have to work at this every day, but I want to do that because I want you. I want all of you forever, you and me, every day.
They just know what to do next. Sometimes women expect very little and then they end up with very little. And you know this is a breeding ground for resentment, right? So why is it so hard to ask for what we need or what we want? And in one word, vulnerability. It's hard. Vulnerability feels weak, but ironically, it's seen as courage. It's received as courage. So don't wait to feel courageous and strong. Vulnerability is just, in its nature, it's going to feel weak. And it does run the risk of being rejected. But if you're going to have a deep, intimate marriage, it's going to require you to be vulnerable. But what I have found over time is if I coach Russ over and over and over and over, small little changes happened and it starts to become his own. So if you pour in a bunch of vulnerability up front, I will tell you over time it becomes more of his thoughts, his actions. So don't give up on the idea of coaching your husband. Vulnerability requires risk of asking and not receiving. But if we don't ask, we're setting ourselves up for a less than intimate relationship. If you would like a confidential community that's going to hold you accountable, encourage you, be there for when you are frustrated, then join my Communicate Clearly workshop. To learn how to join, book a call. The link is in the description below, and I will give you all the details. Be sure to comment because I would love to hear what your thoughts are on this Disney effect. And if you don't mind, give us a like, subscribe, share this out with your friends and family, and be sure to watch this playlist to learn more about how to change your communication patterns. Remember, to have an extraordinary marriage, be intentional. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.